I said, a long time in the making of us finally collaborating online together and
Yeah.
and talking about dolls, of all
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
something we're both
definitely.
passionate
Hiya,
about.
guys, and welcome to episode 3, season 2, Boys with Dolls. Now, today was a very special day because I actually know this next guest on my show. We've been chatting for over a year now and got to know each other really well. We share the same interests with our smart doll collection, but he's also got other parts of his collection as well that you guys would love to see. So finally, we actually got to do our interview. So check him out. This is Kyle Paul.
Sure. My name is Kyle Poole, and I am from Orlando, Florida now, in the United States. I just recently moved. Was in South Carolina, but I moved this past weekend, and today is the first day that I'm actually in a functioning office. After it looked like a catastrophe yesterday with boxes
Oh,
everywhere, but we're good. We're good.
that's awesome. Like, obviously, I'm sitting here and I'm really, 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 really jealous of where you live because Florida is one of my favorite places, mainly because
Yeah.
let's all face it, it's because Disney World's there.
Disney.
And how let's upset me a bit more by telling me how far away Disney is from you right now.
Probably about 20 minutes drive. It's not that far. It is not that far at
Oh my
all.
god! And are you getting the pass, the seasonal pass thing?
Oh, I absolutely will. My out of state pass expires I think in 4 days. So I need to
God.
make sure I get my stuff switched over and I can get the residential pass, and I'm totally doing it.
I don't blame you. I'm really jailed because obviously for me it's miles away, and I get to go on the every 10 years or something stupid like
Yeah.
that. So yeah. Anyway, Kyle, so can't wait to do this interview with you and get to know
Okay.
you on a more personal level. And obviously we're going to share that with the rest of, social media. So I'm going to
Sure.
start off with our first question. And that is, when did you know you wanted to start collecting dolls?
Okay. So this story is kind of funny. So I first got into the dolls in 2010. So I had just graduated high school at this time.
Right.
So I was about 18 years old or so, and I went to a bunch of different anime conventions. That was kind of what I did for fun. I was a cosplayer as my hobby at that point in time. And I would see them having doll meets all the time at these conventions. Like
Yeah.
specifically, I can think of one. It's Maryland. It's called Katsucon, and it's in the giant Gaylord Hotel overlooking Washington D.C. And the one day specifically, there's like an area in the lobby of the hotel where all of the doll enthusiasts just they would set their dolls up on like this mantle, and there was a just a massive amount of them just sitting up on this mantle, and everyone just hanging out around taking pictures and walking around, and I have never seen that before. And I was like,
Right.
these are really cool and completely customizable. Some of them
Yeah.
were in cosplay. Others were just kind of dressed up in normal casual clothing and things like that. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
want to get into that
Yeah.
artistically. That's up my alley. But at that point, I wasn't really making a whole lot of money to afford them after I did some research on my own then.
Yeah.
And then I revisited the hobby probably about 3 years ago. It was when I
Right.
really did my leap of faith into it at that point.
And that's what sort of drew you in by going to these cosplay at places and obviously seeing all the dolls there. And I'm guessing by when you say dolls, I'm gonna take a big guess that it was Dolphy Dream and like Smart Doll. Is that the kind of dolls you've seen, or was it something
It
else?
was. It was.
Yeah.
So it was Dolphy Dream, it was Smart Doll, it was ball
Mm.
jointed dolls, so like the
Right.
resin ball jointed dolls, so like a super Dolphy, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just a whole different variety of them. And I was just so amazed by it because it was something I'd never seen before. up
Yeah.
until that point, you know, because I was looking at Barbies and things like that prior. But looking at this whole customizable doll thing, I was like, that's kind of
That's
neat, you know?
yeah, I totally get it. Obviously, I mean, I've collected the dolls ever since I was a
Mm,
young
mm,
boy. But obviously, for me, BJD's mainly smart doll. Obviously, I got into last year, and I think for
right,
me, I totally understand it. It was always the price bracket that kind of scared me away. And I've always been collecting Disney dolls or Barbie doll, and dolls that are affordable.
right.
And obviously, but when I did get my first smart doll, I kind of just expanded. And obviously, yeah, I kind of get it. And I also like kind of told myself, like, I do earn my money, I'm not spending other people's. And if it is something I enjoy and something I really, really, truly really passionate about, then it shouldn't be a problem. Like sometimes you need to give yourself a little talking to and be like, if you wanna buy, that particular doll, but you have to save.
Absolutely.
But yeah, always get what you're into. Obviously, don't go full out. Sometimes I have gone a bit over the top and put myself into a little bit of debt, but we won't go there.
Guilty, guilty here.
Yeah, and
Done it.
Smart
Done.
Doll, and I'm sure Dolly Dream know exactly how to do that to our wallets. So
He makes it cry every single time there's a new drop. Every single time, like, why? I don't have the
every
money for
time,
this right now. Why?
yeah, like leave me alone. Like otherwise, I'm gonna unfollow you. No, we're not really gonna do
No,
that.
no, never, never, never.
Right. Okay. So, Kyle, great question next then for you. What was your first doll you ever had? I kind of feel because I followed you on YouTube, and that's kind of how I think we met. Because I think I reached out to you on YouTube. Like some people won't know that we've
Mhm.
actually been chatting for a long time,
It's a very long
about
time.
our collection and our dolls and stuff, and we've like got lots in common. And
Mhm.
so I think I know the answer, but you might prove me wrong. But feel free to share with us who your first doll was.
So actually, there's this funny story about this. So you did follow me on YouTube first, and my very first YouTube video, I'll bring her out,
Yeah.
was when I got my smart doll, which is Riley. She's kind of my ride or die. She was my first smart doll. She has changed a little bit since I got her originally,
Yeah.
because she did start out as a semi-real Valiant, and then
Yes.
I bought the Anime North option head and I switched the heads out. But her body, even though she's covered right now, she does have the birthmark and everything still
Right.
from the original Valiant. So
Yeah.
the original is still there in spirit, but the head has changed since then. But this was my first girl that started all of this. And
Yeah.
I think we did actually get started around the same time, believe it or not,
Yeah.
which was kind of funny. And I think that's kind of
Yeah.
what bonded us together a
Bonded
little
us
bit too,
together.
was that start. But
Yeah.
this is the funny thing. She was the one that I received first. She is not the first one that I purchased, though. That's the
Right.
funny statement. So,
Okay.
this next girl is she is a resin ball jointed doll, and she's in
Okay.
like a 1/6 scale, so she's actually about the size of a Barbie.
Right.
She
Okay.
is an
Okay.
she is an artist doll from an artist in Canada. The store name is Depth Dolls,
Awesome.
and she is like I said, a 1/6, about the size of a Barbie. I bought her way before I even got Riley, in a
Right.
pre-order, and because with her being an artist doll, and I had the artist paint her and everything, it actually took her a little bit longer to get to
Longer.
me. So I didn't get her until about 6 months later,
Yeah.
after the pre-order. So technically, she was the first, but
First, but
Riley
Riley.
showed up first.
Yeah.
And I haven't talked about my 1/6 girl a whole lot on YouTube yet, but she's coming at some point.
Yeah.
I'll bring her out again outside of the
Yeah,
unboxing.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would be great because, like, I
Mhm.
think as well when you first get into some sort of doll hobby, you are glued to YouTube because you want to see the reviews and you want to see so much about that character. And I think you had your Valiant before I had mine.
Mhm.
And I remember you saying Danny didn't have the right coloured wig at the time, so he'd give you a lavender wig. Was that right?
Yeah, he did. So the wig
Yeah.
wasn't right, and it's back here on my my
Right.
Chitose that I have right here. It's the like the Athena or the multiverse Chitose wig, which was that lavender purple that I got
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have it at the time, and that's what he sent with it. And he doesn't do that often. It was just one of those weird. I get an
Yeah.
email because when you buy a smart doll for the first time, they send you that little questionnaire, and I
Yeah.
got an email after I sent that in and was like, hey, so yeah, we have to replace the wig with something. Is there one that you'd like? And I was like, I just want that one. And he's like, all right, cool, and sent me that one instead. So that's kind of how
Right.
that even happened. It was a one-off, like random scenario. Probably will never
Yeah.
happen again, but yeah,
Right. Yeah.
that's how that ended up coming to be.
That is random. Yeah. No, I mean, Danny's quite good at like finding something
Yeah,
out and matching things up. And I did think to myself that probably was the best color for her because of obviously people. I've got a Valiant and she's got like birthmarks on her face, and
mhm,
I mean, mine's currently in like a pinky wig, and I do think she like kills the colored wigs. I personally think
absolutely,
she does that. Okay.
totally agree.
So next question is which doll is your favorite? Okay. And if funds were unlimited, which doll would have to be part of your collection?
So, I actually have the best answer for this.
Right.
Just recently, within the last week, so right before I moved, Danny made a drop of some gray girls, and I
Right.
finally got the doll that I had been hunting after since I got Riley, which was the very first smart doll.
Right.
So before I pull her out, I saw a preview picture that Danny posted because you know how he likes to tease things.
Yeah.
And it was right as he was ending blue and he started to tease gray a little bit more. And he posted a picture of her. And I was like, you know what? This is the one that I want. I love this one because she's unique. She's not your typical smart doll by any means. So I'm going
Okay.
to go ahead and pull her out.
I think I
And
know what you're
it,
going to show me.
it
Yeah.
is the zombie anomaly in
Yeah.
gray, and
Yeah.
I am obsessed. I love this girl. This was the one. So
Yeah.
regardless of if funds were unlimited or not, she would be the one that I would have at all times. And I do
And you've
finally
got
have
her.
her. I do finally have her, and I got her on the
Oh,
last drop. I was very worried because I had passed her up a couple times, and he
yeah.
made the drop because he's about to do the Black Navy is the new
Yes.
fantasy skin, and he was
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna start winding down gray." And he was like, "All right, here's Anomaly," and I'm like, "Yep, gonna have that. I'm gonna cry a little bit, but yep, I'm
Yes.
gonna go ahead and do it
I'm
this time."
I'm
But I do
taking her
finally have her.
before she does
Mhm.
not come back again.
That was it. So I have that one. I don't know if I'm the first one that's done that yet when you asked that question, but I was prepared this time.
You was. No one has actually shown me their if funds were unlimited doll in their hands. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's a first for this series,
Hmm.
which is great. I I'll be honest with you, I am not a lover of the grey colour because
I
it's
get it.
not natural. Same with the blue. But when I met a blue, I completely fell in love with it. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh my God, I need a blue doll so I can create Smurfette. So and the fact that you've got a grey one, I mean,
Yeah.
I think she's perfect for a zombie color because obviously zombies are quite
Oh yeah.
grey looking. So
Oh
when
yeah.
she dropped, I can totally see the appeal to why people like, especially that one. I think that one out of all the characters, I think she rocks the grey the best. I
Hmm.
think it suits her character.
It does, and I like how Danny uses the purple accents too, like with the makeup. And
Yeah.
he changed her design from the original one a little bit too. So that preview picture that I saw and the very first run, the very first drop that he made with her, one of the major differences, I'll pull her back out, is on her lips. So they're purple now, but in the very
Right.
first run they were pink. And I think I don't know if there was a complaint or just kind of a critique that people gave, and they were like, her lips just look too bright, and he mellowed
Right.
it out with the purple. And I actually do like the purple a little bit better,
Yeah.
because it does kind of bring it all out. Whereas if it was that original pink, that would be the place that you would get your eye would just gravitate towards, because it would stick out against the gray.
Yeah, and like another thing with Danny, he does listen to people's comments, you know. And like a lot of
Mhm.
people focus on the negative and like, oh, he's so negative, and they show you all these receipts of him being really negative. And yes, I've seen them, but I would be negative too if people were constantly picking at me for something I created. And let's face it, you're on social media, everyone's going to do that.
Oh yeah.
But I'm glad you know, he does just whatever, you know, and just think, you know, I'm going to carry on doing me. And also, like, he does listen. He really does listen to people. And, you know, something's not working and he gets enough comments saying about it, he will change it, you know? So,
Yeah, for sure. For
yeah,
sure.
definitely. Definitely.
And he's even doing that currently right now with he's hinting to doing the different metallics on some of the newer girls, or some of the gray girls even. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
what color scheme do you
What
think will
colour
look good
schemes do you
here?
want? Yeah, he's asking what
So
people want.
super excited.
Also, that was your favorite. That's your favorite doll, I'm guessing, as well.
Yeah, that one and my Constance. So I have the bride from Haunted Mansion,
Yes, I did
right
notice.
back there. So those are my two favorites, but
I
she's by
did.
far one of them.
Yeah, of course, and obviously because of the price bracket, we won't go there. But you know, me and you know how much we know how much that is. Anyone else? You need to go
Yeah.
onto the website to find out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, the Constance doll. So I have to say, oh, I'm like literally like, yeah, I really want her. So yeah, I know
I'll go
she's.
grab her real
Yeah,
quick.
feel free to grab her. Like, she's still available as well on the Disney Store in the UK.
Yeah, and you can't really see her all that well. I'm sorry that the ring light's going to be
No, yeah,
in the plastic, but what's even super cool about her, which I didn't notice, she's a little bit larger than a Barbie,
yeah,
but she's smaller than a Smart Doll. But her skin is pearlescent, and you can't see it unless you're
hmm
in person. Like, she has the pearlescent skin tone very similar to the Dolphy icon, which I think
right,
is incredibly unique and awesome for her. And
yeah.
she's gorgeous,
She really,
absolutely gorgeous.
yeah. I want to get her, but the price tag on these dolls are getting worse and worse, and we all know it.
Yeah. Oh
On these
yeah.
Disney Limited dolls, they're getting worse. Like, she's £130 in the UK, and right now with Christmas coming up, I cannot like fathom that amount right now. Like, I put her on a list, like, to my mum. So she might get her for me. I don't know. We'll see. But I do get the appeal. I really do get the appeal to that
Yeah.
one. And it is something different. And I like to see some different characters being brought out. So that's great.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and excuse me, sorry, and
yeah.
they timed it really well with the release of the Haunted Mansion movie
Mm.
too.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. You know, they know what Disney know what they're doing, don't they? You know, and yeah, I mean, when I go on the ride, it's like my favorite character in the
Oh
ride.
yeah, favorite
Yeah.
ride of all time is Haunted Mansion. I actually, the room right across from me, my actual bedroom is all themed to the Haunted Mansion.
Oh
So
really?
yeah, oh yeah, so
Oh,
I'm a
that's
big Haunted
awesome.
Mansion guy.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do like a spin-off episode with you so you can show us some of that.
Oh yeah, and do like a MTV Cribs, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is the room tour. Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think we might have to look into doing that. Okay, so Kyle, let's move on to the next question. So this one obviously I have no idea. So what is your experience with family and friends with your hobby?
So, oddly enough, my family and friends, all of them have been incredibly supportive,
Yeah,
which I know was kind of going to be hit or miss, because I don't necessarily talk about my doll hobby too much. I mean, which is crazy, because you're like, we met through social media, and I do post about it on social media, but I have separate accounts that aren't my main like Facebook page per
yeah,
se. So a lot of my friends and family wouldn't necessarily see it. But then I
mm,
started posting some albums from stuff that I posted on Instagram. Like I was kind of cross promoting on different pages, and
Yeah.
a lot of my family was like, "Okay, this is kind of neat. You know, what's going on?" And
Yeah.
I was telling them about the dolls and how I use them as my artistic outlet, really,
Hmm.
whether it be, you know, putting them in different outfits or cosplay or whatever and posing them up. So
Yeah.
they've all been incredibly supportive, and they're fueling the fire at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about like your mum and dad? Are they like really supportive behind it?
You know what? My mom and my stepdad are probably my biggest cheerleaders that I have
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
all of this. You know, when I got my first doll and took it over and was showing Riley to my mom, she's like, "That's kind of neat. Like, I wish I had that when I was a kid. Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
jealous." You know, she's like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "How much are they?" And I was like, "You don't want to know." And she's like,
Yeah.
"That's what I thought." You
That's what I
know.
thought. Yeah. She's like, okay, we'll just skip that part of
Yeah,
information.
yeah. She's like, they're pretty. They look really pretty. We're just not going to talk about that. Just want to
Yeah.
go on to the next thing. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fine.
definitely. The parents do not need to know how much they cost because they will
Oh
just,
yeah. Oh.
yeah. Then their
Mm-mm.
opinions change.
Yeah, right. Because the first they're like, oh yeah, that's really cute. Like, do you want one for Christmas? I'll buy you one. How much are they? And they're like, "Oh, I'll get you a gift card." Like,
Yeah. No.
you
Yeah.
know.
My mum will never, ever buy me a smart doll for Christmas.
Oh,
Only,
the
yeah,
fact.
because of there's if maybe if she did, it would be the only thing I would get.
Oh yeah, no, and like what's terrible is, you know, I joke around with my friends and family too. I'm like, you know, I don't even like to buy clothes for them that much, especially if I'm buying directly from Danny for like the smart dolls, for example. I'm like, because I've paid, you know, like $90 or so for a pair of jeans. Like I don't even spend that much money on my jeans.
I
Like
know,
I
I know.
spend like between 20 and $30 US
Yeah,
dollars on my jeans at Walmart, and I'm spending 100 on those. Like this
I
is
know.
ridiculous. I can't.
Do you know what? I don't even own a pair of smart doll jeans because of the price tag that comes with them. Like,
No.
it's madness, isn't it? But they do look awesome. They do. I'm hoping to get one day. Like, I don't try. I try to avoid going to apparel after I've chosen the
Sure.
doll because of the prices of the clothes. They're like, it's like Gucci and Prada for smart doll. It's just,
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. But I will tell you though, those jeans, I got a pair of the regular ones and the Tokyo jeans, so like the damaged ones and the regular just blue jeans.
right.
Once you get a pair of them, you'll kind of understand. It's definitely it's worth it. I mean, I talk about it and I'm like, oh, it's so expensive, but you know, it really is worth it because they fit the doll so well.
So well.
You know, and they are life changing. I kind of want to get another pair just so I have a floater just in
How many
case.
have you got? One pair.
I have two. So I have one pair of the regular jeans without the damage, and then I have the other ones that have like the holes in them.
Rips. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm quite lucky because as you probably know, my smart dolls are all in like gowns and dresses all the time.
Yep.
So I'm
Hmm.
quite lucky in that respect, on short mini skirts.
Oh
So
yeah.
I haven't had that need to want them that much yet. So, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know when their fashions change, of course.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
all the time. Okay, so
Yeah.
Carl, this one's going to be a good question, but I don't think you're going to have too much of an answer for this one due to the fact you collected dolls early or later, how you want to see it.
Later, yeah. Mhm.
So, would you ever bully for collecting dolls? That could be in person or online, we'll call that. And if so, what was your worst experience?
So you know, it's funny, because you actually helped me, believe it or not, through one of my worst experiences with getting bullied online. It was online, and it was
Yeah.
after I made the YouTube page and was doing that for a while. And I specifically made the YouTube short, and it was the Little Mermaid one that I did when I had my Chitose dressed up as Ariel, and
Yes,
it was
yes.
I was trying to, you know, I was doing like a TikTok like lip sync thing to Part of Your World or whatever, and I
Yeah.
showcased the outfit. And then, I get that one person that's in the comment section that's like, this is what's wrong with men. And I was like, I'm not doing anything to harm anybody. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
what does this mean? And just totally just beating into that stigma that, you can't be a normal guy and like have a doll and be excited about it and talk about it and promote it, or,
Mm.
do what I was doing on the internet, which caused literally no harm to anybody, and just completely getting ragged out for it and
Mhm.
read to filth for it, so to speak. And it's just completely unnecessary for no reason. Like, I mean, it was completely unprovoked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I totally know what you mean with those comments. I mean, I had a new one not a new one. I had a one that came back sort of thing the other day. So it was
Uh-oh.
my favorite one, which is sus. That's my favorite comment,
Oh.
because I seem to get it. I used to get it on a regular basis, like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like heart of stone.
Yeah, no, there
um,
was there was another one. There was another one that I had on a different video where, like people were just kind of they were leading on to make the situation seem really creepy.
they do.
Like, oh, I bet, he I bet you he goes and takes them to the playground or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't really do that. That's
Yeah,
weird. They're expensive. I mean,
yeah.
and I don't.
And we're not letting
That's
children touch
weird.
these things.
Yeah, no, like I would not go out of my way to do that. That's kind of not okay. But
Yeah.
that it's the internet, unfortunately.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like, you know, I'm a bit disappointed actually, because I haven't had as much hate as I used to. Like,
It's just,
it's like they don't realize what they're doing is by commenting, they are like spreading us through the algorithm, which is what I'm trying to do, is
oh yeah.
spreading awareness of boys collecting dolls and the stigma that goes with it.
Hmm.
And they're commenting negativity, which is the reason I'm doing it. And then they're spreading the awareness for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
It's the irony of all of it, right?
yeah,
You want to be mean and hide behind your keyboard at home and type your comment out, and all you're doing is you're literally proving my point first
yeah,
off, and
you're
now
proving
you're
my point by saying what you're saying, and also you're helping me. So I'm really I'm like disappointed that there's been not as much negativity recently, and then my views are low. So
yeah, I heard the
like that.
algorithm's been really weird lately on social
Yeah,
media and YouTube and TikTok both. So
yeah.
it's
So
weird.
yeah, so strange. Like, my views used to be like top high on TikTok, and now they're like 200, 300 a day. So I'm just like, but I do the same stuff. It doesn't. I don't get it. I've kind of like, just think it is what it is, and then one day you do a video and they just kind of go crazy for it, and you think, well, it wasn't that great,
Oh yeah. I've had a couple of those. That one video you put like no effort into is the one that gets,
Yes.
10,000 plus views, and the one that you spent an hour on is like five.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't get it either. Okay. So next question is, what's your most strangest thing in your collection? I've got a funny feeling you've got something to show me.
So, the strangest thing that is in my collection, I would probably have to say is my Constance now, and she's one of the newest additions to
Yeah.
my group. Because I don't really have any other Disney dolls, even though, as you can completely see right over here, I have a whole bunch of popcorn buckets and stuff that's all
Yeah.
Disney themed, and she's the first Disney doll that I actually now own. And when I saw her come out, I was like, you know what? This is the one that I need for the collection if I'm going to have a limited Disney doll. Because the Haunted Mansion, like I said, I'm just a huge fan of it. To the point, I even have, Madame Leota as a tattoo on my arm,
Oh, that's
with the
awesome.
Vaporeon. So,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It was a necessary purchase, but I would say
Purchase.
she's probably the strangest one because she doesn't really fit with all of my others per se.
Yeah, I get it. Like, she's not a Disney princess,
Mm-mm.
and she is something that I never thought they would do. So it's not like
Yeah.
like I said earlier, it's so nice to see something different from Disney. So that's awesome. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so this question is obviously one question that is super easy to answer for any doll collector, and it is, what doll do you want next?
Ooh, what doll do I want next? So it's going to be a toss up. There's potentially two. One of them is they just announced a new Hatsune Miku Dolphy Dream that they're going to do and release, because I know they've been going through all of those characters again. And they just announced that they're going to do another version of Hatsune Miku, which is ironic. I don't have one because she was probably one of the first Dolphy characters that I came across that I was like, okay, this is great, like a licensed character. This is cool. And I never got one of the original runs. But I'm probably going to try and get that one. And the second one is going to be another icon. I'm obsessed with these girls. I need to have another one in my collection.
Yeah, I was going to say, please show everybody one of these, because these are stunning.
Yeah. So actually, I'll grab both because they're a little bit different. So this one is this one's the girl Aisha. That's the sculpt, which is in the tawny skin tone, which is a skin tone that Volks doesn't do. Like they do a tan, but the tan is only very slightly different than like their flesh tone. It's not significantly darker, where this is like that caramel, like tan skin, and she's absolutely stunning with her. They're all hand painted and everything, and in like a semi-real sculpt. So that's this one, and then my other one is Sarah. That's the sculpt of this one. And I'm not sure if it shows up on camera, but with the petal skin tone, which is what she is, it's not exactly a semi-white, but it's also not a flesh tone. It's a little bit more pink than a semi-white, but it also has like a pearlescent glow to it. And I know the holographic dress probably is not helping, but she does have a pearlescent like skin tone to her that, like, when light hits it, it kind of has like a purple and blue shift to it in certain lights, which is pretty neat. But they're very unique, very, very unique.
Are they heavy?
I totally would need. Compared to like a smart doll, I think the smart doll with the Evolve frame is probably a little bit heavier than these, but not by much.
No. Right. I really like them. I probably wouldn't get them due to the fact, again, because of the little price tag that comes with them. But never say never, obviously. But I think for me, I love the Volks Disney dolls. Like, they are. They are
the
awesome.
resin girls. Oh man.
Yeah.
I was so tempted when they dropped Ariel. I was so tempted because Ariel's one of my favorite Disney princesses. I was gonna do it, but then I was like, I can't. I want to, but I can't, because it was coming out around the same time as the icons, and I was like, if I get one, I can't get the other, and I really wanted the icon more, so I was like, I'm just gonna cut my losses and just pass up on it.
When I seen her with the blue dress,
gorgeous.
When I seen her, I was just like, oh no, I love Ariel in that blue dress. It's like my favorite look for Ariel. So I was just like, no. Yeah. But
I absolutely understand. Totally understand.
Yeah.
It was a heartbreaking decision, but I don't regret the decision because I did get the icon that I wanted. So
exactly.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, Kyle. So, thank you so much for taking part. It's been lovely to actually speak to you face to face. So, lastly, the question is: do you have anything you want to add? And if there's anything you want to say to other male doll collectors out there?
Yeah, just keep doing you. If dolls are what make you happy, absolutely continue to go for it and collect them and dress them up and do different things and let your creative juices kind of guide you into what you like to do, you know? I mean, and it doesn't mean you have to sit there and just play with them, so to speak. I mean, I use them as photography models, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I started to learn how to sew a couple of things, like, and learn a trade to kind of make clothing and things like
Yeah.
that, you know, for
Yeah.
them. And that's kind of how I use them as an artistic outlet, and I totally think that they are a pretty useful tool in that aspect, that, you know, not many would necessarily realize. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, completely keep going at it, and don't let anybody who's a hater kind of ruin that magic
Yeah.
for you, because they're
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Kyle, thank you so much for taking part. Yeah, thank you.